24/7 Fusion Media.
You know, when I first got on YouTube, when I first started seeing YouTube, this was about maybe 4 years ago. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started looking at YouTube for the first time. Could have seen it sooner, but I didn't give a fuck. Being honest. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started watching. And the one thing that intrigued me was how when you turn on YouTube back then, everything was so inviting. You know, people would open up, you know, their camera, they'd walk around the house and, hey, check this out, and this is what I'm cooking for today. And then they'd fuck around and whip something up and, you know, hey, we're going to the store, and they're looking down the aisles and they're looking at shit, and motherfuckers are shopping and they're doing all kind of shit. And I said, damn, this is some cool shit. And then from there, it started changing. Where, you know, people started finding out that the prank channels, you know, a lot of them was full of shit. You know, I don't know if you guys remember where all the prank channels, people were finding out that the pranks were fake, all this other shit. So that was disappointing to know that some of the shit I was watching was some hokey bullshit, you know, because hell, I don't know nothing. You know, I thought a lot of the shit was genuine, and some of it was, some of it wasn't. Then I found, like, at the beginning stages, Ether Van Sciver, Geeks and Gamers, World Class Bullshitters, Doomcock, Jesse Milestone, The Quartering. You know, it was a thing where we were seeing a fandom united, right? Whatever you want to call us, fandom, community, man, tomato. But what it was, we saw a group of people that were united behind something, you know, the things that we love. And then what I saw were people were even more united because we started seeing the shit that we love get fucking dumped on his head. And you know what? As like Vigilante says, a community, some people call it a fandom, the fellowship, say tomato. But it's, you know, but what happened was, together, it felt like we were the only group of people that didn't agree with all the fucking creative choices that people were doing to all the shit that we loved. And one by one, we saw all the shit that we love get fucking struck down. And that was what united us even more. Because while the rest of the world and everybody else that claimed that they're fucking fans and they enjoy this shit, accepted all the woke bullshit that was going on to all our favorite franchises, they accepted it and they were cool with it. That's what makes us different than them. That's why when motherfuckers say that, oh, well, you know, that they're the true fandom, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes the heart of the fandom is a hard thing to measure. You know, some people have the money to sit there and buy everything fucking Star Wars, the action figure, the curtains, the towels, the bed sheets, the action figures, the play sets, the comic books, the novels, the movies, and every little thing in between. And that's, you know, and then some of us, you know, we do what we can. You know, some people can't afford to get all the fucking action figures. Some of us can afford to get the comic books or the novels. It doesn't make you any less of a Star Wars fan, whether your shit's all full of fucking Star Wars or if it's not. The true Star Wars fans are the people, or the fans of anything, are the people that love it to heart, whether you own the action figures or you don't. If you love it, you love it. And some people were loving all these different fandoms when they were watching Luke suck on the green titty milk. And look, this is my whole thing. How much of a fan are you if you're sitting there greedily eating up all the destruction that the thing that you're loving is going through? So, you know, like, there's some people that they love Star Wars. They don't give a fuck if Luke lives, if he dies. My brother, I love him. He's the one that put me on the comic books and everything else that I am. But the one thing that I noticed about my brother, when I started telling him about what was going on with Batman, and I'm surprised that he doesn't see through the shit. He was the one that raised me to be the way I am now, but he doesn't see it. So that's been kind of fucking with me too. That guy that showed me, look out for this and watch out for that. I don't know, maybe he's changed that much. I don't know. But when we start talking about all the dumb shit that was going on with Bruce Wayne and how they were trying to replace him, The one thing he said was he didn't give a fuck about what was going on with all that, just as long as Batman is around. So that made me think. There's a lot of people that don't give a fuck what's going on with Luke or Han or Leia. They just give a fuck. The only thing they care about is if Star Wars is still around. The name. It's like not giving a damn about what's going on with Bruce Wayne. You know, you can care less about the man behind the cowl, just as long as you see someone running around with the bat on their fucking chest. And the one thing about us is we're not those kind of people, man. We're not the fucking kind of people that, okay, you can make Batman black, you could turn him gay, you can make him woke, but it's cool just as long as it's Batman. Nah, fuck that. That's not who we are. That's not what we're about. And those kind of things are the things that unify us. So where people are tired of it and tired of all the woke shit, people should be tired even more of it happening. You know, every week, especially when I started going live, I was showing off comic books and different things like that. But it took for one thing that I realized. I remember when the whole Zack Snyder thing happened. We all know what that is. When the whole Zack Snyder thing happened, the one thing Ethan Van Sciver asked and held to Ethan Van Sciver, the one thing he said was, figure out what is your purpose here? What is your purpose? Why are we here? And what are you doing to speak out or to make things better on our behalf? You know, and that's the thing. You got to think. If you're here to represent, then show it. And I had to sit here and think. I said, you know what? He's right. It's got to go beyond me showing off comic books. And, you know, like, yeah, I get new books. There's new things to talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But what's more important is the fight. I'm here to fucking fight. I want the fight. Why? Because everything that I love is being attacked. Even my own kids. Nobody's never seen nothing like this. We've never seen our lifestyle be under attack. So it's hard to juggle me wanting to talk about comic books between me wanting to stand up and telling the other side to go fuck themselves because they sat there and fucking destroyed everything that we love. Doctor Who went to shit. Star Wars went to shit. He-Man went to shit. Marvel Comics went to shit. DC went to shit. Sesame Street went to shit. Blue's Clues, man, it's on the level from toddlers all the way up to us and beyond us. And if it ain't everything on entertainment, it's on the levels of education and everything else. And I'm gonna tell you something, I never gave a fuck about politics. I never cared about it. Look up this name. First name, Zulima. Z-U-L-I-M-A. Second name, Farber. F-A-R-B-E-R. Now, when you look up that name, that's my dad's big sister. Same mom, same dad. She's not a step aunt or no shit. That's my aunt, blood aunt. The first Cuban governor of New Jersey. She was also the attorney general of New Jersey. And I talk to her every week or two. I love her to death. Yeah, she runs with the Democrats and the whole shit. But the reason why I bring that up is because politics and all this shit has ran in my family deep. And it's to the point where I never cared about it. But you want to know when I started caring about politics? When it started getting forced down my throat. And everywhere I look, video games and in comic books, movies and TV shows, and everywhere I'm fucking looking, that's all I see. I never cared about it until politics started attacking all the things that we love. When it started playing a part in everything. Social justice, all this bullshit. When all this stuff started happening was when I started waking up and started looking at what's going on in front of me. And that's when the wokeness and all this bullshit and everything else is transpiring. That's when I was like, you know what? If there's ever a time for me to look and see what the fuck that I'm looking at, this is the time. And it's important. We can't run from it. And I know that people, they want to see entertainment that's outside of wokeness. But that's hard, and it's getting harder every day when new things are starting to get attacked. Well, hopefully they won't get to that next. They're working towards that, whatever that is. So guess what? If it's in everything that we enjoy, movies, TV shows, comic books, video games, etc. If it's in our public school systems, they're trying to jam that shit down our kids' throats, the mandates and everything else that's going on with our whole world. You can't turn a blind eye to this anymore. You can't. And I'm a person that never gave a fuck about this. Now I'm looking up and I'm like, you know what? I can't turn away from this anymore. Now is the time to speak up and to speak out. This is it. And we can't wait for anybody else to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. And thank God for everybody else that speaks up against all the shit that's been fucking with us for, you know, for these last 5 or 10 years. Thank God for them. Because you know what? Out of everything that's being fucked up, we're the only ones that woke up, and we're the ones that are speaking out. So while everybody else is in agreement and everybody else is cool with all the changes and everybody's getting poked to death and all this other bullshit, we're the ones that know better. And sometimes, you know, when you know better, you can't turn back at this point. There's no turning back for us. We're already in it. And this is not a battle. This is a war. And everybody needs to see it for what it is. So I'm sorry you guys come here to hear about comic books today. No, not today, man. Because we're in the middle of a fucking war. We're fighting for our kids. We're fighting for our entertainment. We're fighting for our own fucking peace of mind that no one's allowing us to have anymore. Everything's set on the table before us, man. And the one thing that we're starting to notice is that we can't play by their rules because they don't play fair. So guess what? When it goes to war, there is no rules. So I'm telling you guys now, I'm in it for the long run. I'm in it for the war. I'm ready to fight. You know, you got to fight with your mind. You got to fight with how you feel. Speak out on this shit. And don't wait for nobody to make a video. You make a video yourself. You put it out there. And guess what? Just like something Vigilante Williamson said, that you look back 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you pull up our channels and you see what the fuck we were talking about and you see what everybody was doing at this particular time, you're going to see that I sat here and I spoke up and I'm not backing down. Fuck that. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. They're coming after us. They're coming after our kids, our way of life. It feels like at this point, there really is no freedom left, man. And we got to fight for that shit too. And that everybody here should be ready to do the same shit.